easy assessment. They kicked our behinds, starting with me. We all got our behinds kicked. There's nothing tricky or hidden behind what I'm saying. What's up, Logan? How you doing? They switched everything and turned us over. We had 14 turnovers, and they capitalized off of almost every turnover, so they beat us in a turnover game. They had 5 turnovers, and we scored 6 points off their 5 turnovers, so right there they outscored us by 15 points in the turnover game. And then in the second chance game, we did get 10 offensive rebounds. They only got 11, but every single one of them, every single rebound that they got, they seemed to hit a 3 or get a big bucket, and so they outscored us by 12 there, and that's the ball game, and you got 2 guys like Tatum and Brown, they're load, and we didn't have an answer for them, so you got to give the Celtics credit. Nothing else I can say besides what the facts are.
Coaches don't like to use tired legs much, and we talked about pregame, the 5 and 7 nights. How much is tonight kind of a factor of that?
I mean, everybody has to play these types of games, and so you got to go lace them up. You got to play them, and whatever happens, happens. And I mean, were the guys tired? Probably, but at the end of the day, you still got to say what happened out on the floor, and those are things that happen on the floor.
Mike, when you go against a defense like Boston's, what's the counter that you guys have to have when they're forcing you into maybe a little too much ISO and one-on-one type stuff?
You got to play with a pace in the half court. Like you got to sprint out in the screen sometimes and slip to the rim to cause a chain reaction. Your cuts have to be extremely hard. The ball has to be moved and crisp, and if you catch the ball and somebody's closing out to you, you can't hesitate. Like we had so many times where the ball got swung after they're switching, and even if they messed it up a little bit, when you hold it, all you're doing is letting them get back in front, and then you got to shoot the ball when you're open. I mean, there were a couple of times we were wide open and we dribbled into traffic, One of the things our guys are going to have to understand is come playoff time, the best shot's an open shot, because those are going to be hard to come by. And if we keep passing up open shots and driving into traffic and trying to make a play or force the action, we're going to be in trouble. But they're switching really bothered us. We couldn't score inside. We couldn't score outside, really. And you're going to have to play with some pace and slip to the rim to put some pressure on the rim to cause the defense to collapse a little bit, whether it's by a drive or, like I said, just a cut. And then that's when you can get a good look with a spray 3 or a snap drive trying to get to the rim because their defense isn't really set.
Mike, it seems like Davion is getting a lot more comfortable offensively and running that second unit. I'm just curious your assessment on how he's played these last couple of games and just his development over the course of this year.
Davion's been really good. He's been really, really good on both ends of the floor, and there hasn't been, many times I can think back where I could say he's been a liability on either side of the floor. He's probably the one guy that especially these last couple of games, that has been as close to playing on both sides of the ball at the highest level on our team when it comes to naming that person. So I'm happy with Davion's development. Again, the sky's the limit for him as a young guy. He's just so tough, and he's always taking on the challenge, and you like that from anybody on your team.
Yeah, Mike, a couple of games here without Kevin. What do you expect from him? Should we expect him later in the week, or is still going to be a little while before we see him on the court?
No, again, we'll have tomorrow off, which is great for him, and then we'll have a practice day, and so we'll be able to take a look at him tomorrow, and then again, I think it's Wednesday at practice, and we'll see. But this time off has been great, especially when you're talking about the muscle injury that he had, and so to be able to rest it was a good thing.
Yeah, Coach, what stood out to you with Boston only having 5 turnovers, and how much do you think that impacted your offense on the other end?
Well, it impacted us a lot in terms of the outcome of the game because we had 14. When you play a good team, in order to have a chance to win the game, you got to win the possession game, and that involves turnovers, free throw attempts, and offensive rebounds. And like I said, to start my press conference, the offensive rebounds were fairly close, but we couldn't capitalize on the offensive rebounds we got like they did. So that hurt us in that regard. But the way that they were able to turn us over, and we couldn't turn them over. Our hands weren't as active. We challenged the guys to get 25 deflections with some activity with our hands, and we didn't come close. I think we had 11 or 12 deflections, and so that inactivity with our arms and our hands, especially in the passing lanes, can be a downfall when you're looking at the turnover battle.
Okay, so after a tough loss like this, what do you tell your guys, and what will you change moving forward?
First thing I'm gonna go see my grandson so he can make me smile. My grandson's the cutest thing out there, little Iverson, so I'm gonna go do that. But I told the guys the truth. I said that we got our behinds kicked. You got to give Boston credit. We didn't have an answer for Tatum or Brown tonight. They kicked our behind on the glass. We turned the ball over too much, and they capitalized on every single turnover. And get some rest tomorrow. We're going to have tomorrow off. We'll come back out here and practice and get ready for our game on Thursday. So, every time you play a game, whether you win or you lose, you try to learn from it. It's not the end of the world. You're going to lose games, especially when you have 82 of them. And so, you don't want to harp on it too much, and you want to get to a point where you're moving forward so you can prepare for what's coming next. Thank you, guys.